Hey guys, we're here at PGC San Francisco. I'm here with James Spafford, who is the community manager for Double Fine. Now, Broken Age, sir,
Yes.
a game that was released in 2 parts over a period of about 2 years. Right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
We're interested from an industry standpoint. We're asking people about their kind of key trends that they're seeing, and one of those key trends that emerged recently was in financing, consumer-funded gaming. And really, the Double Fine adventure, as it was called at the time, before it became Broken Age, was a big part of that push of highlighting what Kickstarter is all about. How has that worked out for the company? For example, what are the experiences you found using that model? And B, would you do it again?
I think it's been a journey that has taken us up and down. We've seen all the different sides of it. I think at the beginning, no one really quite knew what they were getting into with it. And it's been a real adventure, but it was hugely successful. It broke a lot of records. It definitely set a trend, or at least was the first of like a lot of these bigger projects coming through Kickstarter and crowdfunding stuff. I think we would do it again. I think we'd go back. I mean, we did go back for Massive Chalice, another game, and we funded that through Kickstarter as well. And we think crowdfunding is not going to go away. It's something that we think is really, really important.
What were the major challenges? Because you released the first chapter, there was quite a big pause between chapter 1 and chapter 2. And I know there was some slightly hostile reaction to that, people going, we've already bought it technically, where is it all? And with Kickstarter, there is that problem with paying for something that hasn't been made yet. You're essentially putting a down payment on an idea rather than a finished product. Were you expecting the hostile reaction, and what were the issues that caused it to take that amount of time?
So I think Double Fine's experience with community before that Kickstarter happened was a lot of love and a lot of like a very close-knit community. Who was a big fan of Tim and all of his games and all of the games that Double Fine had produced. That Kickstarter opened up the floodgates to a much bigger community of people, and they all had a different idea on what they wanted this project to be, and it couldn't be everything at once. And so some people were disappointed, some people were upset that it was split, some people were upset that it wasn't the right game. But in the end, I think we've created something that is wonderful and like really awesome. It's the project that Tim wanted it to be. It's the project that the company felt it needed to be created. The pitfalls, I mean, I don't know if this is crowdfunding necessarily, but we did crowdfunding and we did open development, where we just filmed the entire thing and let everyone know what's going on. One of I think the biggest problems we had there was not actually showing all of that stuff to anyone outside of the backers. So everyone in the outside world couldn't see in, but all the backers could. So they didn't know what was happening. Had you watched our documentary series, and you can see every single thing that is happening to the studio that goes wrong, and like how we try and overcome it.
I think there is a certain amount of mistrust with the Kickstarter model, where people are ponying over a lot of money, thousands and hundreds of thousands and up to millions, and then not really hearing anything about what's going on, and not being sure how that money's being used. Because they put up all the stretch goals, and you kind of have to take it at the developer's word they're being used in that way. So do you think transparency would be a healthy thing going forward, showing everyone step by step?
I mean, sure, if you're up for it, but it's a lot of work. We had a film crew hanging around us for 3 years filming everything, and all of the bad days as well as all of the good days, and that can be it requires quite a lot of energy. But it is really good to be able to show people what you're doing, and we can. There's a lot of people who are annoyed about where we spent this money. The way we did, but we can point at the documentary, we can show people exactly where it was all spent and how, where everything went. I think that's really awesome.
And you say you did go and follow that on with another crowd-funded project. Is it something that Double Fine are probably going to pursue into the future? Is this the model now, or are you going to kind of do one-on, one-off, or what?
So we've always worked with different financing models. Crowdfunding is one of the ones which we really love because it enables us to choose who funds our game and have more control over that game, rather than kind of signing away a lot of stuff to producers, to publishers who might not care as much as you do about your project. So crowdfunding is something that we'll look to in the future when we want to fund more games.
Okay, and you've come here to PG San Francisco.
Yeah.
what are the reasons that you come to an event like this? As community manager guy, what's your role? Why is it worth turning up to one of these things?
Well, I like talking to people who play our games. If they're players or if they're in the industry or whoever they are, I like to meet them, show them what we have, and have a chat. This is a really good place to meet other people who are making games, other people who are selling games, swap tips and, just hang out with nice people, basically.
Nice. And you guys operate kind of cross-platform. Double Fine Adventure was released on PC, you get it on iOS, Android, that sort of thing. What are the key trends you think in terms of both the home gaming and the mobile gaming space? Because people jumped onto mobile, and now there's a slight, I'm sensing a slight backlash of people saying, no, we should just go back to Steam and greenlight and that whole thing. Like for you, as being involved in the development on Double Fine and being involved in that team, which area are you focusing on, and what do you think are going to be the next big things over the next few years?
Where are we focusing on? I mean, so we release games for, Broken Age came out on PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, PS Vita, iOS, Android, and Ouya. So we just, so we just put it out across everything.
Yeah.
So PC has always been our backbone, so we're definitely gonna stick there. But new trends that are really awesome, like VR, maybe we'd like to experiment around with some of that stuff because that seems really cool. That's definitely where people are going. I think there's a huge trend in broadcasting and in people sharing, doing let's plays and doing streaming and stuff like that. So that's definitely an area that I'm interested in looking into. But, so maybe VR streaming, maybe that's where it is.
I'd be interested to see it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck with the rest of the day.
Cheers, man.